One of the things, it's very easy for us to overestimate the way in which women are treated in the Bible. So the trouble is we're using 21st century criteria by which to judge people from the ancient world. And actually, if you judge them against other cultures, if you judge them against the Babylonian narratives or the Hittite narratives or something like that, actually women in the Old Testament, even in the Old Testament, are treated far better. So the first thing is to recognise that they may not live up to our 21st century values, but actually already they are doing much better. The other thing you've got to bear in mind is that the scriptures come out of a tradition in which men take a public sphere and women take a much more private sphere. And one of the things we know about Judaism is men are much more significant outside of the home and women are much more significant in the home. So if you're writing big national history, you are going to write more about men than you write about women.
Sure.
Simply because, a story about what happened on a Monday morning in February in someone's house is going to be of less significance than, the story of David and the shaping of the nation of Israel. So again, I kind of want to say, well, you need to read it for what it is rather than what it isn't.
Yeah.
And then one of my things that I love to do is read between the cracks.
Okay.
And say, okay, here's the dominant narrative. Now let's just read the kind of under the surface narrative. And then you get these stories of these amazing women, people like Miriam, Ruth, Esther, Phoebe in the New Testament, Lydia, Mary, the list goes on and on. Of these absolutely incredible people, and you just get the tiniest glimpse of them. But in them, you can see these powerhouses of women. And I think that's one of the really inspirational things, is kind of to read between the cracks and see them.
And how much, in your view, did Jesus himself, as it were, as a man, but sort of, I don't know, what difference did he bring to the status accorded to women as far as what he brought in the New Testament?
According to, laying aside the 12, which we can come back to in a moment, but if you lay aside the 12, it is absolutely amazing to see how many women Jesus engaged with, drew into his field, and became disciples. One of the things that we often do is we kind of use the word disciple slightly sloppily.
Right.
And sometimes we use it to mean the 12, and sometimes we mean it to use kind of for other people around Jesus. It's clear the Gospels use the word disciple for the wider group, not the smaller group. So actually, in a world in which women were not allowed to be disciples within the rabbinic texts, it was absolutely forbidden for women to be disciples and learn. Jesus had loads of female disciples. So actually, he is already turning traditions on his head and changing things for good. One of the things I love about, John's Gospel, for example, is the very first evangelist is a woman. The Samaritan woman is the one who goes and the first person ever to break the news of Jesus is a Samaritan woman. The person entrusted with the news of the resurrection, another woman. You can go on and on. That actually here are women making an enormous difference in the life of Jesus.
Tune in to the Profile Interview in association with Christianity Magazine every Saturday at 4 p.m, only on Premier Christian Radio, where faith comes to life.